Welcome back to Culture Code English. I am so glad you are here today. Take a slow, deep breath, let your shoulders drop, get completely comfortable, and relax. Today, we are going to explore a deeply nostalgic, iconic, and highly fascinating hidden code of American life, the mystery of the mailbox and the little red flag. Imagine this. You are taking a quiet, peaceful walk through a beautiful American suburb on a warm morning. Beside almost every driveway, standing proudly on a wooden post near the road, you see a small, curved metal box. Many of these boxes feature a bright red plastic flag attached to the side. Sometimes the red flag is lying down. Other times the flag is standing straight up, pointing toward the sky. If you did not grow up in the United States, you might look at this red flag and make a very logical, common assumption. You think, oh, the red flag is up. That must mean the mail carrier has arrived, delivered some new letters, and raised the flag to let the homeowner know they have mail. But this is a major, beautiful misconception. In America, the little red flag is actually a low-tech signal to the mail carrier, not to the homeowner. When you raise the red flag on your mailbox, you are telling the passing postal truck, "Please stop at my driveway today. I have placed my own outgoing letters inside this box. Please collect them and deliver them for me." This is a profound, trusting social contract. Imagine putting your personal utility bills, Christmas cards, or even paper rent checks into an unlocked metal box beside a public road, raising a bright red flag to advertise to the world that there is mail inside, and trusting that your neighbors and strangers will leave it untouched until the mail carrier arrives. To an American, the mailbox is sacred territory. In the United States, your mailbox is actually protected by strict federal laws. The moment a mailbox is installed on a wooden post, it becomes federal property under the United States Postal Service. Touching or opening someone else's mailbox without their permission is a serious federal crime that can carry a penalty of up to 3 years in prison. This strict protection reflects a deep historical truth. In a vast, diverse nation, the physical mail was the original thread that held the country together. And that little red flag is a surviving symbol of a time when the government and the community made a quiet promise to protect each other's voices, one letter at a time. To discover the true reason why Americans are so attached to their roadside mailboxes, we must travel back in time to the late 19th century. We must understand a grand democratic experiment called rural free delivery. Before the year 1896, if you lived on a farm in rural America, receiving a letter was a major, difficult task. There was no home delivery. If you wanted to get your mail, you had to travel for hours on a horse or in a wagon to the nearest post office in the town center. If the weather was bad, or if you were busy harvesting crops, you might only go once a week or once a month. Many farmers lived in deep, painful isolation, cut off from the rest of the world. In 1896, the United States government decided to change this. They introduced rural free delivery, the promise that the government would deliver mail directly to every single rural home, completely for free. It was a beautiful, revolutionary idea. But to make this massive operation work, the post office department had to solve a highly practical challenge. The mail carriers, who rode on horses or in small carriages, could not waste time traveling up long, winding farm driveways to knock on every front door. They needed to deliver the mail quickly without leaving the public road. So the government made a strict rule. If you wanted free mail delivery, you had to set up a standardized mailbox right at the edge of the public road. At first, farmers built their own mailboxes using whatever they could find: old tin cans, wooden boxes, or even empty oil barrels. The roads looked messy and unorganized. To solve this, in 1915, a brilliant post office employee and engineer named Roy Jorolman designed a masterpiece of American industrial design: the classic, tunnel-shaped metal mailbox. Jorolman designed the mailbox with a curved, domed top so that heavy rain and winter snow would naturally slide off the sides instead of rusting the metal. He also added the iconic, bright red flag on a simple metal hinge. Let me tell you about William. William was a corn farmer who lived on an isolated homestead in Iowa in the late 19th century. To William, the nearest town was a 2-hour horse ride away. He felt completely lonely and cut off from his family in New York. He only went to the town post office on Saturdays. Often, he arrived only to find there was no mail for him. It felt like a massive waste of his precious day. Then, in 1896, his county received rural free delivery. William built a sturdy wooden post beside the gravel road and set up his very first metal mailbox. The very first morning, William stood on his porch and watched the distant road. He saw the mail carrier riding a brown horse, stopping at his post, sliding a letter inside his box, and raising the little flag. William ran down his long driveway. He opened the metal door and pulled out a warm, beautiful letter from his sister in New York. Tears came to his eyes. He did not have to ride his horse for hours anymore. He did not have to feel alone. He slipped his reply letter into the box, raised the red flag to signal the carrier for tomorrow, and walked back to his house. The mailbox with the red flag was not just a piece of metal on his lawn. It was his physical connection to the entire world. It was his proof that the government cared about his quiet, rural life. As we navigate the highly digitized world of the 21st century, a major contrast is beginning to appear in American daily life. In many countries around the world, physical mail is almost completely dead. People pay their bills using mobile apps, communicate through instant messaging, and receive official documents via email. To them, a physical mailbox is a relic of the past, something that is only used to hold dust. But in the United States, the physical mailbox is still highly active, and it is packed with paper every single day. Why do Americans remain so deeply obsessed with physical paper mail? The first reason is a unique American financial tradition: the paper check. While most of the world has moved to instant bank transfers, millions of Americans still pay their monthly rent, utility bills, and insurance fees by writing paper checks, putting them in envelopes, and mailing them. When the government sends tax refunds, they often arrive as physical paper checks in the mailbox. Furthermore, the American legal and government system is built on paper. Official government notices, tax forms, and jury duty summons are legally required to be delivered as physical mail to your roadside mailbox. To an American, a digital email can be easily ignored or deleted. But a physical paper document, signed and sealed, feels real, authentic, and legally binding. But if you look inside a typical American mailbox today, you will also find a massive amount of junk mail. Junk mail, or direct mail, consists of paper advertisements, local supermarket coupons, restaurant menus, and catalogs. It can feel incredibly annoying to empty your mailbox every evening and find a giant stack of paper that you did not ask for. But this junk mail is actually the economic lifeblood of the United States Postal Service. Because the government does not fully fund the postal system with tax money, the USPS must make its own profits to survive. Giant retail companies pay billions of dollars every year to mail these paper advertisements to every single household in America. This constant stream of junk mail funding is what allows the Postal Service to maintain its low-cost, daily delivery to the most isolated farms in the country. Let me tell you about Robert. Robert was a young immigrant who moved from a highly digital city to a quiet suburb in Ohio. In his home country, he had not seen a paper letter in 10 years. During his first week in Ohio, Robert was shocked to find his mailbox stuffed with paper every single day. He had local pizza menus, credit card offers, and lawn care catalogs. He felt annoyed. Why do they waste so much paper? He wondered. One day, Robert had to pay his monthly rent. He expected to send a bank transfer, but his landlord, an older American man, shook his head. "No," the landlord said. "I only accept paper checks. Write a check, put it in an envelope, and mail it to me." Robert had to learn how to write a check, place it in his mailbox, and raise the little red flag. As he stood by the road, watching his raised red flag, he realized something profound. In a world where everything is fast and digital, the physical mailbox represents a slow, reliable trust. It is a system built on physical evidence and legal safety. Robert learned that in America, paper mail is not a sign of being old-fashioned. It is a deep cultural contract of security and community connection that Americans protect with absolute pride. Let us explore the final part of our blueprint, the mailbox as a sacred federal fortress. When you walk down an American street, you might think, "The mailbox stands on my front lawn, beside my driveway. I bought it and I installed it. Therefore, it is my private property." But once again, American law has a highly surprising code. The moment your mailbox is mounted on its post beside the road, it officially becomes federal property. It is legally protected by the United States government. This strict federal law leads to a highly unique daily life phenomenon in America. Have you ever noticed that local businesses, pizza restaurants, or lawn care companies never put their advertising flyers directly inside your roadside mailbox? Instead, they roll them up and leave them on your front door handle or toss them onto your driveway. They do this because of a strict federal law known as the mailbox restriction. By law, only authorized mail carriers from the United States Postal Service can place items inside your mailbox. If a local company or a neighbor places an advertisement, a flyer, or even a friendly card inside your mailbox without paying for official postage, they are committing a federal infraction. This level of protection may seem extreme, but it exists because the mailbox is a physical trust. It is the place where your private life connects with the public world. By declaring every roadside mailbox as sacred federal territory, the law ensures that your physical communications remain safe, secure, and private, no matter who is walking down your street. How can you use this knowledge to navigate daily American life? The secret is simple. Understand that the roadside mailbox is not just a metal box. It is a monument to public trust and history. When you walk down your driveway in the evening, empty your box of paper mail and lower your bright red flag, you are participating in a beautiful, centuries-old tradition. You are celebrating a system that was built to unite a massive country, protect personal boundaries, and maintain a quiet contract of trust between neighbors and the government. Look how far you have already come in this video. You have been listening to this real, natural, and deep English story for many minutes now. You did not have subtitles on, and yet you followed the narrative effortlessly. Your ears are naturally adapting to the speed, the intonation, and the flow of the language. You are doing an amazing job. Be patient with your brain. Language learning is not a sprint. It is like watching a beautiful oak tree grow. Every story you listen to, every cultural blueprint you explore, and every minute you spend here is quietly building your ear muscles and making you a stronger, more confident English thinker. Consistency is the ultimate key to success. You do not need to study for hours until you feel completely exhausted. Just 10 or 15 minutes of active, quiet listening every single day is enough to create extraordinary results over time. If you enjoyed discovering the secret history of the American mailbox today, and if you are ready to make mindful listening a normal part of your daily English journey, I want you to make a simple, beautiful promise to yourself. Leave a small mark of your progress in the comments below right now. Type, "I am learning every day" in the comments. By writing these 5 words, you are telling your brain that you are growing. You are celebrating a small victory on your path to natural fluency. Thank you so much for spending this peaceful, meaningful time learning with me today on Culture Code English. Keep listening, keep practicing with patience, and never lose your curiosity. I look forward to exploring another beautiful piece of our world with you very soon. Have a wonderful, relaxing evening, and keep using English every single day.